Today I wanted to do a little more fantasy booking, and the subject of this video kind of germinated from something that happened on last week's Impact show, and I wanted to cover that in the last review, but I ran out of time. About this whole Sting, Samoa Joe, Booker T storyline. I mean, I know it's been drawing a lot of criticism lately, and I'll admit not all that criticism is completely unwarranted, and I went over my reasons why I felt that way in the last video. I mean, basically, it seems like they're trying to make Samoa Joe out to be the underdog, and I just don't think that works. I mean, that's not Samoa Joe's character. I mean, Joe should be the dominant badass, and his opponents should be the underdogs. Anyway, what I didn't get a chance to do before was give my suggestion for how they could do this feud in a way that would be more effective, so I'm going to do that now. Now, we all saw how Samoa Joe kind of snapped and went off the deep end with Booker T at Victory Road, and Sting intervened and tried to get Joe to back off. Of course, Joe didn't listen to him. He wanted to put a serious hurt on Booker T long after Booker couldn't fight back anymore, which finally caused Sting to take Joe out with a baseball bat. So I was thinking, they could go the route that all the pressure and all the uncertainty of being a first-time world champion and all the frustration with Nash and Booker T and everything over the last couple of months had all just built up so much to the point where Joe just flipped out. And the beatdown on Booker T was just the beginning. I mean, after that, he starts destroying everybody in the ring, just like he did with Booker. He doesn't stop at beating people in matches. Every opponent that Jim Cornette puts in front of him, Joe just annihilates the guy. He doesn't let up until security has to pull him off, and then the guy has to be taken to the fucking hospital. And he gradually starts moving back into his old heel persona, and we start to see like the reemergence of the guy who once gave Christopher Daniels a grade 3 concussion and put his career in jeopardy. And then on the go-home show before Hard Justice, Samoa Joe would come out to the ring and he'd call out Sharmell. Sharmell comes out alone, she gets in the ring, Joe gets on the mic, and this is what he says. Sharmell, I called you out here because I wanted to talk to you about something really important. If the last few weeks have shown us anything, it's that Booker T has completely lost touch with reality. You see, he might be able to hold up my belt, call himself a champion, and fool himself into believing that he beat me at Hard Justice, but not you, Sharmell. No, not you. See, I think you're just a little bit smarter than that. In Houston, Texas, Victory Road, I saw the look on your face. I saw the fear in your eyes as I was beating the life out of that piece of garbage you call a husband. Now, Booker T, he's off in his own little universe right now, but you know what really happened at Victory Road. And the reason I called you out here tonight was because I wanted to spill something out for you in no uncertain terms. In New Jersey, August 10th, Hard Justice, inside that cage, I'm going to finish what I started in Houston. I'm not just going to beat your husband, I'm going to cripple your husband. And if you, or Sting, or anyone else tries to get in my way again, Joe's going to put them in the ICU right next to him. So they have a stare down. Sharmell looks absolutely terrified, and then the cameras pan up, and we see Sting watching from the rafters looking really concerned as Joe's music plays and we fade out. Then at Hard Justice, they have their match. Booker puts up a fight, but ultimately Joe just overwhelms him again. He beats Booker fairly this time. He gets the 1, 2, 3 from an official ref. He wins the match, but then afterward, Joe does exactly what he said he was going to do. He just goes to work on Booker T, absolutely brutalizing him. Sharmell's outside the cage crying, begging him to stop, and Joe just laughs and laughs at her as he beats the life out of Booker T. And he throws off the referee, he throws off the security guys, even the announcers are saying that Joe's taking things too far. And finally, Kevin Nash gets in the ring and he's like, Joe, look, enough is enough, man. You beat him. He's done. You made your point. But Joe's having none of it. He doesn't listen to Nash. So Nash tries to physically restrain Joe, and then Joe freaks out, he attacks Nash, and then they go at it. And then Sting appears on the entranceway again, looking really concerned as Hard Justice goes off the air. So that angle sets up Joe versus Nash in No Surrender, paying off that storyline that's been building up for the last 10 months since Turning Point '07. And Joe beats Nash, and then he proceeds to give Nash the Booker T treatment. And this finally causes Sting to show up again, get involved, which sets up Joe versus Sting at Bound for Glory. And the story could be that Joe's destructive behavior over the last couple of months has Sting really uneasy because he's watching Joe becoming something really fucking dangerous. And he's worried that Joe could potentially turn into the new Jeff Jarrett. Because if you remember, back when Sting first came to TNA in the first place, the storyline was that he wanted TNA to be successful, and for that to happen, he believed that he had to remove the cancer from the locker room, the cancer being Jeff Jarrett, who was the top heel at the time. So Sting's motivation is that he thinks that Joe is at a crossroads right now, and he has the potential to be TNA's biggest asset, or he could become a cancer to TNA if he doesn't get the right guidance and continues on the path that he's taken right now. And he wants to set Joe on that right path, and if he has to take the world title from Joe in order to do that, then that's what he's going to do. So they take that route, building up to the pay-per-view, and at Bound for Glory, Joe and Sting headline the show. They build it up like Sting is giving everything that he has, and this might be his last hurrah, but he's going to teach Joe a lesson and put Joe on the right path, even if he kills himself doing it. Anyway, they have a brutal, hard-fought match. Sting is the underdog. He takes a ton of punishment. He dishes out some, too, but in the end, Joe finally wins. He doesn't destroy Sting afterwards, though. Joe celebrates with the belt. Sting gets up. He's exhausted. They stare each other down. Finally, Joe offers Sting his hand. They shake. Sting raises Joe's arm, and they play it like it took everything Sting had in him, but he finally got through to Joe. Joe got the message. Sting put him back on the right path. So Sting didn't win the title, but it's kind of a Rocky Balboa type story because he got the moral victory and that he accomplished what he set out to do, which is help Joe to become the kind of champion that TNA needed him to be. Anyway, that's how I would book this thing. I mean, that's the storyline that makes the most sense to me right now. As usual, whether you love it, whether you hate it, please leave me your feedback, and I'll talk to you later.